bringing you news and updates from the Alliance of American Football, your source for everything Memphis, with your hosts, Dan and Michelle. This is Memphis AAF.
We cannot make decisions that cost the team and then come off the sideline and it's nonchalant. No. You know what? This is how I believe, okay? I'm from the old school. I believe this. I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. I cannot play with them, cannot win with them, cannot coach with them, can't do it. I want winners. I want people that want to win.
Damn. Sorry, that probably just peaked, but I'm so excited that we want winners here in Memphis and that Mike Singletary is our coach.
So in case you couldn't tell, that is a new head coach for the Alliance Memphis, Mike Singletary, which gives way to what we're going to be talking about later in the show as the main topic. We are focusing on the Alliance Memphis and our front office.
Whoop, whoop.
Before that, let's... So normally at this point, we usually kind of cover the news that's been going on with the league in the past week. Not so much going on right now. Some player signings, some coach signings at other teams. So not a whole lot going on with Memphis. So no news today. We're going to skip right into another interview with a prospective player.
And actually, if you aren't interested in this is your fault, because in the last episode, I asked you guys, I said, hey, let us know if you want more interviews on a different day or interviews in our regular full episode, and no one responded. So we're just going to keep it going this way. If you guys want bonus episodes with interviews only on Tuesdays or another day this week, please let us know. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going this way.
Yeah. So starting off, we've got defensive back Christian Love coming out of Henderson State, which is in Arkadelphia, Arkansas.
I love the name of that town. There's like Arkadelphia, there's Arkabutler Lake, Texarkana, like these...
Texoma.
Oh, yeah. These like towns that are between two states. They just mishmash it all together.
See, the difference with this one is it's not named after any kind of state.
It's just
like, hey, we like Philadelphia, but we're in Arkansas. Have I got a name for you guys? Without further ado, this is my interview with Christian Love. So I've got Christian Love here on the show. He is a defensive back from Houston, and he played at Henderson State in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. So that's kind of a weird thing to say. So he spent a year with the Dallas Marshals. What league is that in?
That's in the CIF, Champions Indoor Football League.
Okay, awesome. So, Christian, tell us a little bit about you and kind of what you do outside football.
Okay, so a little bit about me. I grew up in Houston, Texas. Like you said, I played with the Dallas Marshals this past season. Outside of football, right now I'm just working at the YMCA. Pretty good place for me to work. I like being around children and sports and just the whole idea of fitness and just connecting with people. So that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I love to hang with, my family, friends. I don't do too much like partying and all that stuff. I just try to stay focused on my goals and what I'm trying to accomplish. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Okay, so you're listed as a defensive back. Well, what do you feel is your kind of, where do you lean to? What position do you kind of lean to?
Okay, so for me, I feel like I have the most fun, playing free safety. But it doesn't really make a difference to me if I'm at corner or free safety, strong safety, nickel. I feel like I can play all four positions. Like I said, I probably have the most fun playing free safety. And then corner's not as hard of a position to play as well. But, I just enjoy being out there, man. I can play any of them.
Yeah, when I was watching your highlights, you seem to be in the safety position more often, which kind of seems like more of a natural fit for you, just based on what I saw, because you seem to have just a lot of intelligence and a lot of instinct as to where the ball is going to be, and able to get to the running back or get to wherever the ball is. It seems like no one's even trying to stop you. You're so good trying getting around guys.
Yeah, it's
immediate, you're there.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it comes more natural for me. That's what I've been used to playing for most of my playing career. Even in high school, I played the free safety. So, it just comes a lot more natural. But, if need be, I'd be prepared to play any of the positions.
So while you're at Henderson, every year you're named at least one time GAC Player of the Week twice, a couple times it looked like. And then in 2013, you made the all-conference team for the GAC. You racked up 72 tackles with 4.5 tackles for loss and 2 interceptions. So, I mean, that to me, that seems pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was. I felt like I had a pretty good season that year. We had some coaching changes that didn't, necessarily go my way. But definitely enjoyed my time at Henderson. I definitely enjoyed the coaching staff. We won a couple championships there. Every year I was there, we won a championship pretty much. So definitely a good experience and just taught me how to be a winner, putting in the work with my teammates every day, just getting used to the grind of having that target on your back every year from being number one the season before, So definitely a great experience for me.
So as I mentioned before, like it seems like you have a great skill, like getting to wherever the ball is. But what would you say is like your best skill, like the one thing that you kind of bring to a team?
I think the best thing that I would bring to a team is I would say that I am a very solid tackler.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I definitely saw that in your highlights.
And when I say that, I mean, I'm not going to make the highlight tackle every time, like the big hit that, gets people, jumping in the stands or whatever. But I'm a solid tackler. When it comes to one-on-one, open space tackling, I can do that, So I think that's probably one of my best assets that I can bring to a team as far as like the work that I'll put in and then also the film study.
Like it kind of makes me think, not that you like to compare you to him, but I'm a big 49ers fan, so that's kind of where a lot of my knowledge is. But I just think back to like Navarro Bowman. I don't know if you ever watched him, but as a linebacker, he's not going to make like these massive plays.
Right.
But he's never going to lose you a game. Like he's never going to miss that tackle.
Right.
And if somebody's running toward him, like he's just a brick wall. Like nothing's getting past him.
Right. That's right.
And to me, like that seems like a more valuable skill than like these flashy guys that can, make these huge plays. Because typically, like kind of saw, last year with Vikings against the Saints,
right?
Marcus Williams, he tried to go for that big flashy play and completely whiffed it.
Oh yeah. that happens sometimes. You're trying to take a chance, but for me personally, I'd rather try to be just a solid player. Just be solid throughout the whole game. Take your chances when you have them, but I just want to keep it, just being a solid football player.
And not that you don't make those big plays, because I saw several massive interceptions that kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. You got to take your chances when you have them. You can't sit back and just watch the whole game. You have to be aggressive at times. So you just have to know when to be aggressive and when to tone it down, I guess you could say.
Yeah. There is one play that really stuck out to me because I was watching your highlights and kind of like distracted doing something else. And then I saw this. I'm like, wait, what happened there? And so you guys are playing at home. I don't know what team you were playing, but it looked like it was either broken coverage or like a miscommunication between you and the cornerback. And like the dude was running down wide open.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets the ball, and out of nowhere, like you're right there, and you pop the ball out.
Oh yeah!
And I'm assuming it was a fumble that you guys recovered, but it was just like it looked like a broken play, and you still got there in time to make it happen.
Oh yeah, that's just playing football, just being aware of what's going on. Like you said, that play actually was a broken play between me and the corner, but just effort, getting to the ball, and just trying to get it out of his hands. That's just all effort, man. Nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome.
And hustle, yeah, that's right.
So I'm going to give you a chance. If the coaches are listening, I don't know who's listening to this, but why should the Alliance Memphis sign you?
Man, the Alliance Memphis should sign me because I'm a guy that's going to come in. I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to stay focused. I'm not a guy that's going to be out, on Beale Street in Memphis, right? You guys have Beale Street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not going to be a guy out there causing trouble, getting in all sorts of things. I have one goal and one goal only, and that is to get better on and off the field, help my teammates get better, and then possibly bring a championship for Memphis. So that's my only goal. I'm not worried about doing anything else, just playing football and helping my family. That's it.
That's all we can ask for, man. That sounds awesome. All right, so we had the LA Combine a couple weeks ago, and then we got the Houston Combine coming up in a couple of days, and then we got the Atlanta Combines coming up towards the end of the month. Are you going to any of those, or have you gone to LA, or are you going to make any of those?
Yes, I'll be making the Houston Combine this Saturday, just trying to showcase my skills in front of the scouts.
Okay, so before I let you go, I want to ask you one thing. There are a lot of team names floating around, and as I'm sure you're aware, the league is looking to the fans for like inspiration on what the team name should be. I'm going to hit you with a few names. You tell me what you think is the best team name, or if you have another idea to throw that out there, all right?
Okay.
So we got the Hound Dogs, the Blues, the Pharaohs, and the Kings.
I actually kind of like the Blues.
Okay.
Because you think of a town like Memphis, you think of the blues, like those old guys that used to sing the blues. You think of that sort of thing. So I actually kind of like that name, honestly, the Blues.
All right. Yeah, that's a popular one. Yeah, and we got like on Beale Street, we've got the BB King restaurant.
Yeah, BB King, yeah.
All right, before you go, for everybody who's listening, let everybody know where they can find you online.
Okay, you can find me online at imc.love on Instagram. That is imc.love.
All right, and I'll be sure to put that in the show notes. So if you guys want to follow him, check him out. He's got a lot of cool stuff. Go in the show notes. I'll have links to everything, and including his highlight reel for you to watch. All right, Christian, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
So that was Christian.
All right.
He's a pretty stoic guy. He's kind of, to me, it seems like the kind of guy that's not going to be bothered by something. Like he's going to go out there, do his job, and just like get shit done.
Yeah, I mean, like he said, he just seems like a solid football player.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to watch that play that you guys were talking about, where he like flipped the ball out of the dude's hand.
Yeah. So if you want to check it out, a link to his highlight video will be in the show notes. MemphisAAF.com/4.
Quattro.
Without further ado, let's get into a couple of the guys up top. We'll come back for another interview, and then we'll finish off with the head honcho. I don't know if the head honcho, but...
Let's do it.
Team president. Mr. Akosha Irby. At least I'm assuming that's his name.
Well, that's definitely his name.
Well, yeah. I hope that's the way it's pronounced.
What up, Mr. Irby?
So he was a defensive back and actually played at the University of Memphis.
So he's a local.
Yeah, that's one thing I really love is like he is familiar with Memphis.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So like the team president, like he's not so much for, at least I'm assuming, he's not like as much for like the football operations, coaching, and that kind of thing. It's more like marketing and running kind of the organization.
Yeah. That's usually what a president does.
Right. And so the fact that he does know the city means like I feel like he's going to do a better job at marketing to the city.
Yeah, it seems like he's got a bit of an advantage.
He graduated from the University of Memphis with a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And then got his master's. He's got an MBA in marketing.
Ah, so that seems like a really good fit.
And after he left Memphis, he got like a sales job with Dell, but then he moved to be the director of sales and marketing with St. Louis University.
SLU.
Right. From there, he spent about 6 years through various positions, like assistant athletic director for colleges throughout the NCAA.
Gotcha.
And then in 2011, he got a job with the WWE.
Oh, now I'm starting to see how things tie in.
Yeah, he did that for almost 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a regional director of live events, which is why I think he's got the experience needed to help promote the team within Memphis.
So not only that, but like you said, he has a background in marketing and being an associate athletic director at various colleges and universities. So it seems like this position as president really is a good fit for all of his background and kind of is a good match for everything.
Exactly. I'm excited to see what he does with the team and with Memphis.
Yeah.
Now moving right along to our GM, Mr. Will Lewis.
Whoop, whoop. Mr. Lewis.
So he was a former NFL cornerback.
Okay.
He's had 20 years of scouting and front office experience with Green Bay Packers, Seattle Seahawks, and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, just a couple small little teams.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of them or not.
I mean, it's vaguely familiar.
Yeah. So 20 years of experience.
That's crazy.
Yeah, doing scouting, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if, I don't know how the other teams are made up right now, but I'm wondering if maybe with that experience is why Memphis was so far ahead in player signings than all the other teams.
Right, because as of last week's episode, you said that we had signed 33 people?
Yeah, and we've signed like 3 or 4 that I'm aware of since then.
Oh, wow. So you said he was a cornerback?
Yep.
Where did he play? So
he was he was signed as an undrafted free agent by the Seahawks back in 1980 out of Millersville State College.
Oh, wow.
Don't even know if that even
exists. That I've honestly never heard of.
It's now Millersville University of Pennsylvania.
Still never heard of it.
No. So he had a career. He played with the Seahawks for a couple years, went to the Chiefs for a year, and then he tried his luck with the now defunct USFL, or the United States Football League.
That was another one?
Yeah, that was where Steve Young got his start, I think.
Oh, wow. I'd never even heard of that one.
That was like one of the bigger ones, I think, that like had like the most success.
Yeah.
But obviously didn't make it.
Obviously.
And then he played in the Canadian Football League for a few years before going into coaching and the
Front
executive
office,
lifestyle.
Scouting, yeah.
Yeah. Now, before we move on to the head coach, I want to play the final interview of this episode with a Mr. Anthony Amos.
Alrighty.
He's a wide receiver out of MTSU.
Is he a famous Amos?
I don't even know how to react to that. He is now.
You guys should have seen it. He like totally froze. He had no idea how to react to that.
Like, I'm usually pretty quick-witted, but that one stumped me.
Anyway.
So he played for MTSU,
Middle Tennessee State University,
and then played with the Arizona Rattlers this past season in arena football.
Okay.
So here we go.
Here we go.
All right, everyone. I am excited to have Anthony Amos on the show today. He's a wide receiver out of MTSU, or Middle Tennessee State University, if you're not aware. He also played for the Arizona Rattlers arena football team. Anthony, welcome to the show, man.
How you doing? Glad to be here.
Awesome. Yeah. So tell us kind of what you've been up to after college and kind of what you've been up to for the past couple of years.
Yeah, so I came out of college, Middle Tennessee State, 2013. I was an undrafted free agent with the Cowboys. I stayed there through the whole camp all the way until the last preseason game and got cut. And then I sat out 2014, just working out and working. And then I got an opportunity to go to a tryout for the AFL League, which was in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where they was hosting it. And it was a team out of Washington, Spokane, the Spokane Shock. I had got a tryout there. And after the tryout, the coach wanted to sign me. So I came in there 2015, was a rookie, and had some pretty good numbers. I think I had about 72 receptions. I think I had 1,200 all-purpose yards. I played kick return and about 19 touchdowns. And then after that year, that team folded. And since I was a rookie, the AFL had my rights as a rookie to be drafted to another team. So that's when the Arizona Rattlers called me and wanted me to come to their team. So I've been here in Arizona for about 3 years. Started here in 2015, was behind a couple of veterans and still kind of got my name out here. From there, they moved down to another league, which was IFL Indoor Arena for the last 2 years, and put up some pretty good numbers. I think the first year I might have had about 40 or 50 catches, I think about 600 yards and 19 touchdowns. And then this past year, kind of the same numbers, I'll say about 30 or 40 for about 600. And then I think I had 18 touchdowns this year.
That's exciting. Yeah, I was watching some of your highlight reel. And I mean, I think, arena and indoor football is just fun to watch in general. But just like watching you just kind of make these defensive backs look silly is a lot of fun to watch. Because there was one that you just completely got behind the guy and got wide open deep down the field.
Yeah. It's pretty fun, especially interacting with the fans. They're like right there by the field. So, you get hit over the wall or you get to talking to them on the sidelines, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, and that's really cool because with the AAF, one of the things that they really want is fan interaction with the players.
Yeah. And
even, some of the bonuses the players get is based off of social media interaction and this kind of overall popularity.
Yeah.
So if you do get into the league, that's going to be a lot of fun, just kind of hanging out with the fans on social media and whatnot.
Yeah. And I'm a fan kind of player, like to interact with the fans and see how they see it looking in.
Yeah. And just looking at your stats from college, so you played 2 years at Middle Tennessee State. So, your junior year wasn't too spectacular, but your senior year, you had 992 yards and 12 touchdowns. How much does it burn you that you didn't get those extra 8 yards to make it to 1,000?
When I heard about it, it was already too late, and I was like kind of bitter about it. Me, I'm not really too big on like my yards and touchdowns and stuff. I just like to go out there and play the game. Just give it my all for my team. I just wanted to get the wins and stuff. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I was kind of bitter about that. Yeah, but going back to the 2 years that I was there, coming out of high school, I went to a junior college out in San Francisco City College. I played 2 years there, and then I had Missouri and Wyoming looking at me from there, but the Missouri coaches switched staffs. They kind of fell back off, and then some of the staff went to Wyoming, and they was looking at me pretty tough. And then like by the time I could send them all my information and stuff, they already had signed a wide receiver who they was looking at as well. So I walked on at Middle Tennessee State in 2010 and redshirted that first year just to get my game right. And then that next year I came back, I was kind of under some more veterans, so it was kind of tough for me to get in there and try to get my stats and touchdowns and things like that up.
Yeah.
So, I just played it to the best of my ability, whatever I could control. I just went ahead and did that. And then 2012, I became a captain of the team, and a go-to guy on the team. So that's when the stats kind of boosted up.
Yeah, and just one thing I noticed both years, like your junior year, you weren't really looked at so much, but yet you still managed to get 14 yards, your average 14 yards per reception. And, same thing in your senior year. So whenever you got your shot, you still performed.
Yeah. And I think that's my biggest thing. I was always the underdog coming into new leagues and new teams, and being that guy at the bottom of the pole and just working my way up. And when I got my opportunity, I just made the best of it. And every coach I played for, they put their trust in me, and that's how it went.
Yeah, and that's what, going back to your time, whenever Missouri and Wyoming were looking at you, just how fickle this league is, or this sport is, that, it's not, because sometimes it's the coaching staff that isn't stable, or that's messing things up, and just how easy it is to like just make it or just miss it.
Yeah.
Because you get, in the NFL, you get some of these guys who maybe you're just in for, if you look at, some of the quarterbacks, you got Brian Hoyer and a bunch of these guys who probably definitely can be outplayed by, some of these undrafted guys, but just don't get their shot.
And that's all. Me speaking for the underdog. Players coming out of small colleges. Coaches might not think that they're able to play on that next level just because of what college they came from. But I just ask, if they can just give them, an opportunity, to showcase what they can do on the next level. That's bigger than anything, just a opportunity, a chance to be able to showcase their talent on that next level.
And it's just all about getting noticed, and then whenever you do get your shot, taking full advantage of it. Yeah. So we just had the LA Combine, the Houston's coming up, and then we got Atlanta at the end of the month. Are you going to be able to make it to any of those?
I just did the one out in LA.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was real fun. It felt like a real combine. It felt like an NFL combine. Like, they had everything out there set up professionally. They introduced us to the GMs and the coaches and got us started. So it was very fun, very exciting.
Okay, so maybe you can clear something up. There's a lot of rumors going around that they didn't have the professional equipment there. We see a lot of times coming out from that combine, the guys are running like a 4.22 on the 40-yard dash, but they're using just stopwatches. Is that true? Or do they have like the laser time tracking thing?
Yeah, they had the stopwatches, all the coaches or whoever the scouts were out there. But I would say the times kind of vary, due to it wasn't the actual clock, actual laser time, but it was pretty amount of coaches and scouts that was right there at the end of the 40-yard dash where they can combine times together, and that's just like if a player wasn't able to go to the combine, and they did a pro day at their school, it's kind of the same thing.
Okay. Well, that's good to know that they're not relying on just one person. They're actually still fairly accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went to Middle Tennessee State, and that means you're allocated to Memphis. Are you looking forward to the opportunity of playing under Mike Singletary?
Oh, yes. I've been watching him for some time now, and I feel like he can bring a lot to that team as far as his coaching, and it'll be an honor, to play under him.
Yeah, one thing, if you remember his famous rant whenever he was head coach of the Niners about Vernon Davis, is you can't be apathetic. You have to give it your all every step of the way, or he will let you know about it.
Yeah. And that's the kind of coach. That's the type of coach that you need. Somebody that's behind you, right on your neck, let you know what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right.
So I'm going to give you an opportunity just to let the listeners know, why should Alliance Memphis sign you to the team?
I think they should sign me to the team. I can bring a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of leadership, able to interact with the fans, a team player. I feel like me kind of being an older guy and they're picking up young, college players and stuff, I can, be a leader asset to the team.
Like you said, it's a lot of young guys. So it'd be an asset, like you said, an asset to have somebody who's a little older, a little more stable, who's been around for a little bit longer. All right. So there's been a few team names floating around in the Facebook group. So I'm going to hit you with a few. You let me know what your favorite is, or if you think the team should go with another direction. So there's the Hound Dogs, the Blues, the Kings, and the Pharaohs. Out of those, which do you think the team should go with?
The Kings sound more dominant than any other name.
Yeah. Yeah, and that plays on, Martin Luther King and Elvis being the king of rock and roll, as they say. Well, awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Before I let you go, let the fans know, let the listeners know, where they can find you online.
I have Facebook, which I'm rarely on. I get on there every once in a while. Playmaker Amos. You can find me on Instagram, TTG_5. And that's about it. And
I'll be sure to put links, all that, in the show notes, as well as his highlight video if you want to check him out. Awesome, man. Thanks so much for coming on the show. That's awesome.
No, I appreciate you having me. It really means a lot.
Oh my God. So we just watched his highlight reel and it is amazing. He is really fun to watch.
Yeah. Now, I know highlights are the best of what he did, but it's still the fact that he can do that.
Yeah, there was one catch in particular that really was reminiscent.
One catch?
Well, in particular, that was really reminiscent of the big catch from ODB. Odell Beckham Jr. a few years
OBJ.
back. What did I say?
ODB.
No, not ODB. I don't know if ODB can even get off the ground. OBJ can make some pretty amazing catches, and so did Anthony Amos.
Yeah, it was a one-handed vertical jump in the end zone for the touchdown.
And it really seems like he makes a play where it seems like it's dead.
Yeah, because there was a pass to, I don't know if we should ruin all the highlights, but it was a pass to somebody else. The ball got knocked out of his hands, and he was there to catch it.
Yeah.
And make the play.
Yeah, it wasn't even for him or to him or whatever, and he ended up catching, and they held on to possession, and yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely check out his highlights.
I'm hoping he gets signed because I'd love to watch him out on the field.
Yeah, for sure.
So now, on to Mike Singletary. So he was a legendary linebacker, obviously a Hall of Famer.
Obviously.
For the Bears. His nickname was the heart of the defense. Okay, so he was in the Bears in the mid-'80s, and I don't know if you ever heard just the phrase the 85 Bears.
Oh, yeah. You won't let me ever forget that phrase.
They're arguably the best defense in the history of football.
Wow.
And he was the heart of the defense during that time.
Oh, that's exciting.
And as you heard in that clip at the beginning of the show, and if you watch his highlights, one thing about him is passion.
Yeah. And playing as a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which totally makes sense for him being called the heart of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
He was all about teamwork and working together and getting it done.
Yeah. Okay, so one of his other nicknames was Samurai Mike.
Okay.
Because of his intimidating focus and intensity as when he played.
Oh, wow.
He was also named the Minister of Defense.
Minister of Defense?
Because he was an ordained minister.
No way.
Yeah. Which you can really tell by like the punishment he gave people on the field.
Yeah, he was bringing it.
Yeah. So legendary player. And then he retired at 92, came back to football in 2003 to play for, or not play, to coach for the Ravens. He was linebackers coach.
That makes sense.
Fittingly enough.
Yeah.
He was there for a couple years, and then he became the assistant head coach and linebackers coach for the San Francisco 49ers.
Dun, 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 our favorite team.
So he became the interim head coach in 2008 when the head coach at the time got fired.
So maybe you don't know the answer to this, but what was that season like under him as a head coach?
Under him, they went 5-4. So they started out 2-5.
Mm-hmm.
Coach gets fired. He takes over. They go 5-4.
So overall, their record was
7-9.
Okay.
So as a season was a losing season, he showed a little bit of brightness.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially when you have to take a 2-5 team to win 5 of your next 9 games. I mean, that's something.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I mean, just looking at this, again, this is not a Niners podcast, but looking at this past season of the 49ers team, like they had a shitty record, but then Jimmy GQ came in and they won, the last 5 games? Yeah. So even, it might have been losing overall, but having such a nice winning spurt like that is really cool. And obviously shows promise because now people won't stop talking about Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yes, there is a lot of hype around him. So in 2009, he was offered a 4-year deal for $10 million as a head coach.
Where?
For the 49ers.
Oh.
They kept him around.
For 4 years?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, they offered him a contract for 4 years. We're getting to that.
I guess I didn't really start paying attention. Here we go, talking about the Niners. It's not our fault because he worked for the Niners. But I guess I didn't really start following them until Harbaugh was their coach. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Singletary.
They started out strong they started out 3-1.
Okay.
Which is good, obviously. And this is like the beginning of like the pre-Harbaugh area whenever like the team was really ramping up.
Yeah, really strong.
And a lot of people say like it's because of him they got to where they were under Harbaugh. Because his team had 5 Pro Bowl players.
Whoa.
Patrick Willis.
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, Patrick Willis.
One of the greatest linebackers.
I'm going to start crying.
Andy Lee, the punter.
Okay.
Vernon Davis.
Yeah.
Which we heard him kind of reaming in that interview.
A little bit, yeah.
But Vernon Davis credits like the way he like Mike treated him.
Yeah.
To like finally like lighting a fire under his ass and really because he was like one of the top tight ends.
He really was.
In his prime. And like he credits like that game as a starting point to him actually kind of maturing.
That's really cool.
And Frank Gore.
I know that.
And Justin Smith. He was a nose tackle, defensive tackle. He was a defensive lineman, one of the best.
Okay.
Then they had a little bit of a rough streak. They went 2-5 from week 17 to 13. They ended up 8-8 on the season.
Okay.
So it was the first non-losing season since 2002 for the team.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So I bet the winning streak was like shocking to Niners fans.
Yeah. To start out 3-1.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes downhill from there. 2010, they started out 0-5.
Wow.
And then it really didn't get much better for the rest of the year. And Singletary was fired towards the end of the season. And our boy, Jim Tomsula, a.k.a. Ron Jeremy, took over for the final game as the interim head coach.
Gross. Ugh, I hate Tomsula.
And then 2011, he started coaching for the Vikings.
Really? Was he a head coach?
No, he was a special assistant to the...
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry. That just reminds me of The Office. So he was a special assistant to the head coach.
Right.
Not assistant head coach. And obviously the linebackers coach.
Obviously.
And then in 2016, he coached for the Rams as a defensive assistant and then named head coach of Alliance Memphis.
All right.
So I love his passion. I love what he did as a player. I'm hesitant about his coaching ability.
Yeah, I mean, definitely seems like he's got a handle on being the linebacker coach and handling defense, but I'll be excited to see what happens overall.
Yeah. So that's Mike Singletary.
All right. Like I said, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. In many ways, but especially with Singletary as the coach.
Yeah.
And our defense.
I have high hopes. So that's our show for today. Coming up, there is the Combine in 2 days, this Saturday in Houston, Texas. So hopefully we can get some more information after that.
Get some more news coming your way.
Hopefully.
Well, we know that the Alliance is really good about communicating and providing information, so...
Yeah, I'm sure they'll just be flooding with communication.
I'm sure.
In a few days. But if anything does come out, I will post about it on social media, so follow us there.
all the places.
Yeah, check out everything. It's at memphisaaf.com. And if you want to help out with the blog, I want to do like a profile for the entire roster. So if you are interested in doing that, doing some research on players, hit me up on the website.
Yeah, let us know.
Or on social media.
Do it.
Until next week.
We out.